You're listening to Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran Podcast.
Now introducing your host of Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran, the one-man show, Brian Roof.
Hey, what's going on, friends and family? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are having an amazing day out there, not letting the day kick your ass, but you're out there kicking its ass. All right, well, another great day, another great interview. I'm excited for my next guest. You know, we kind of been playing tag back and forth, but finally we're here, and I'm happy to have him on. I love our docs in the from the Navy. So get ready to hear all about Rodney, aka Doc. Here we go. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how are you, Brian? Good morning.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get myself going here. The struggle bus is here.
Yeah. Sorry about that Eastern and Pacific times.
Hey, it's all good, brother. The good thing is you were 3 hours early ready. You know what I mean? So,
and I thought I was late. I was running around like a chicken.
Yeah. So you were hella early, and when I woke up and I saw your message, I was like, oh man, he's panicking. We still got like a good couple hours before we got to go.
I texted you. I'm so sorry, Brian. Man, I can't believe I overslept.
I just see that, bro, as you're fucking ready to go, man. You know what I mean?
Here, buddy.
You're 100% ready to go. I love it. But hey, let's get to know all about you, brother. You know, where you grew up, what made you join the Navy, and what you got going on today, man. I know you're doing some great things. So let's hear all about you.
Yeah. Well, I was raised in middle class, greater Detroit metro area city. My dad was a third generation plumber. Mom was a housewife, and two brothers and a sister. I was the middle kid, always in trouble, always grounded, always rebellious, and went to a bunch of schools in a bunch of years, and got to my senior year in high school where I met. It was crazy, my senior year of high school, my parents moved to a small town. So a city boy to a small town. I had to spend my senior year, the summer before, in this little town called Ortonville, Michigan. Oh. And the very first day of school, I met my best friend for life and my first wife. And we had 3 kids together. And she came with me when I was in the military, in the Navy. So right when good lesson, right when you think your whole life is ruined, great things can happen from your life being ruined,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my first wife, she got pregnant when we were in high school, and we had our first son when we were 18. And then I was in a small town. I was a pizza maker at a restaurant, making $4 an hour or whatever. And things happened with her and I. And so I just decided, man, that I had to do something with my life other than self-absorption, and not being a very good dude. So I remember the December before 84. So December of 83, I remember that it was New Year's Eve. I was sitting with my brother in that small little house in Ortonville. And I just said to my big brother, I said, this is the year I'm going to do something big with my life. And 4 months later, I was in the Navy.
Nice.
And so on April 5th was my birthday. On April 10th was Van Halen 84.
My birthday is April 6th, brother.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So it was April 5th was my birthday. April 10th was Van Halen. My brother gave me his ticket to go see Van Halen with a jump in Panama, with the keyboards with Eddie.
Dude, how was seeing them in person, bro? Like,
I saw him twice. And the first time I seen him, David Lee Roth and the band was awesome. And then when I saw him in 84, like right after the very first song, Dave drinks like a half a fifth of Jack.
Oh, no.
Then 3 songs later, he drinks the other half. And then the rest of the show, he was fumbling and mumbling. And I was with my best friend I met in high school there, so I went with him. and it was disappointing, but it was still Van Halen 84,
Yeah,
And,
I guess you got to hear the band play.
yeah. And then 5 days later, I was off to boot camp.
Damn, that's crazy.
I was 19, So went to Great Mistakes, Illinois for Navy boot camp. And when I joined, I didn't know what I wanted to do, And of course, the recruiter always said,
what actually made you decide to go to the Navy, as a matter of fact?
well, honestly, back then, being the idiot that I was, young, dumb, and, full of stuff.
You're right. Hell yeah, man.
What's the easiest boot camp we can do? Let's call the Coast Guard. No offense, guys. I was thinking in my head this, So I called the Coast Guard. They asked me the initial questions, and apparently I answered some of them wrong about some of the things you partake in when you're in high school. So
yeah, because if what they say to me in the Navy, if you say no, it's Navy opportunities. Yes means basically no. Like you're not going to be accepted anymore. Don't say yes to the rule. Question.
What have you done? Medicinally.
Fire. Yep. Yes.
I said, I don't know how to answer that. I've done just about everything but a couple things. You know what I mean? And so, well, you have a good day, sir. So I called the Navy. They're like, okay, initial questions. Have you ever done any of this stuff? Nope.
Yeah. You answered what they needed to hear.
Next thing you know, I was down at MEPS, and next thing you know, I was on delayed entry in February, and then April come around, and ended up leaving on April 15th was my first day of boot.
Wow.
And so I felt I didn't know what I wanted to do. So but they had something for me, right?
Of course.
And
absolutely, there's always a job.
Yeah, and so they said you can become what they call it a apprenticeship training program, or a striker. That means you, after boot, you go to a school. They teach you how to tie knots. You go out to a ship, and then you can look around and find what job you like, and then you can strike for that job. So I got to my ship. You give your personnel records to personnel man. You give your payroll stuff to dispersing, and I got to sick bay to turn in my medical records. And there was a first-class corpsman in there in the air conditioning with his feet up, drinking a cup of coffee, doing absolutely nothing, which was like the only time ever that this first class wasn't doing something, because I got to know him, in the future. But
right.
So air conditioning, feet up.
But you saw what you needed to see. You know what I mean?
Some aspirin, you're good. Some Motrin. Yeah. Little did I know, but I said I want to do this, and then when I watched that corpsman do things around the ship while I was still working in deck division, shining brass, I got to know the guy, and I got to see what he did, and the level of commitment to the crew was just amazing to me. And he was so highly respected. And I said, they're helping people medically, and with that, and then earning that kind of respect. I knew it was something special. And prior to that, I wasn't very special at anything. So there was already a guy striking, so I kind of had to wait my turn. And then he got in trouble, so boom, I went in.
Next in line, huh?
Next in line. And what they didn't tell you was you got to do a whole bunch of stuff before you can, and you can't be a corpsman until you go to corpsman school. It's, so right. I had to do some courses and turn them in and go in front of a board just to get to work in there after hours. And then I did some more courses, and I worked after hours every day, 7 days a week, after hours, after chow, and worked in sick bay, went in front of the board. Okay, now you can work half a day in deck division, half a day in sick bay. And then we were getting ready to go underway, and I'd done some more courses. I went back in the front of the board, and they said, okay. And everybody said, okay, you can work in sick bay full time. We're getting underway, go on deployment. So that's kind of how it happened. And then I was given responsibilities in sick bay as a corpsman. And it was the craziest thing. first day full time in sick bay, the skipper comes down for his immunizations. He comes in the sick bay and he's like, Seaman Apprentice Walbecq, what are you doing in sick bay? And I said, Captain, I'm a striker and I'm striking to be a hospital corpsman. He says, okay, Doc, today's your first shots. Let's go. He called me Doc. I wasn't even a corpsman at all, but just working in sick bay with the corpsman gave me the name Doc from a skipper.
And that tooted your horn.
I get chills just talking
about
it.
Man, that tooted your horn right there.
Yeah.
That gave you that spark.
Yeah. And so we went underway. We went to Hawaii first, and then we went to the Philippines. And that's where I got my first real dose of being a corpsman. Because
all the guys out on dock doing bad things or what?
Well, the crew did, and I had to fix it all. So
right, yeah. Here's some pills for that, pills for this.
I had to learn a couple of very specific infections that I had to help cure.
Oh man, I'm sure.
Yeah. The crazy thing was all the bosun mates and all the people that were on the outside of the skin, they're out on the deck. It was raining when we got into Subic. And the air was so dirty that the rain gave everybody pink eye.
Oh my gosh, bro.
So
that's weird.
Yeah, the second day in Subic, I had a line of people where I had to drip in their eyes for them. We didn't have enough, we couldn't just give out bottles of the stuff.
Yeah, because
we didn't have enough
wasting the shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to do measured doses in all these guys' eyes for a week.
Wow.
And then
that's crazy. All these dudes walking around with these gook in their eyes and shit. Oh man.
So I had a line of guys with pink eye, a line of guys with the clap, and I had to learn how to treat and diagnose that. So I was the clap guy. And
man, I bet that means you not wanting to leave this ship after that shit.
I'm like, what did I get myself into?
No kidding.
You
got busy real quick.
It was great. I got to see a lot of stuff. I got to, we were in charge of in the galley. We had to make sure that everything's dated in the refrigerators and test the water for chlorine and bromine. And we had guys that got hurt, and I learned about fractures and casting and just a whole bunch of stuff,
How were you on a ship, man? I know, living on a ship is rough. I got sick as shit as soon as we left dock, and everybody, all the Marines, we were at the bottom of the deck just about losing our cookies, So how are your sea legs out there?
Well, the crazy thing, we were just talking about this the other day. So the first time we went underway was just outside of San Diego, just doing circles and practicing stuff.
Yeah, like Coronado Bay or whatever.
Yeah. It was just off the coast, like 5 miles off the coast, so we could dump garbage in the ocean.
That's about what I was doing, and that's where I got sick when we went about 5 miles out. Yeah. When I couldn't see the damn land no more, man. I got sick as shit.
It was flat seas, and I'm hanging over the side.
Yeah, there's the answer.
We got to we were out at sea one time, and the seas got bad storm, and it was rough. And I was still working in deck part-time and then sick bay part-time. So I had to stand watch as a bosun mate. So I'm on the bridge wing as a lookout watch with a rope tied to a stanchion with my life preserver on and binoculars. And the water is coming right up over the bridge wings, man. Just
wow.
Never got sick once, but when I was floating on flat, I tossed cookies.
Yeah, that's about right for how it was for us.
Yeah.
As soon as we go, and then they had us all go down in formation, and you could just see dudes, off to the side, and there was a long line at the infirmary waiting for Doc to give us some Dramamine.
Yeah. So we're out on Westpac, and I put in a package to go to school. And we're floating in the Persian Gulf, 85-6. And we had to relieve the USS Stark that got hit by a pirate ship out there back then.
Oh, wow. like a
Yeah.
Somali, the
So we're
Somali pirates.
we're sitting in the harbor in Australia. We hadn't seen land in like 70 days or something. We're anchored, getting ready for the Liberty boats to take us into town, and we got news the start got hit and pull anchor and leave. It was very morale went down that day.
I bet, man, because 70 days, you guys were ready to port. You guys were ready to go have some libo.
Yeah,
get
it turned
the
out
hell
to be
off that
90
ship,
some
man.
days for the rest of the crew.
Damn, 90 something, huh?
Yeah,
Is that the
no
longest
land.
you think you've ever stayed out without docking?
For me, it was around 80 something. So what happened was we got into the Persian Gulf. We're floating around there, and my orders came in. The day before Shellback initiation, I had to leave. So yeah, I'm a pollywog. So they brought out the Desert Duck, and the Desert Duck was a helicopter, and it was hovering over our ship. They dropped the line, the donut, you hook up, and off to school I went. So I literally went from San Diego around the world to the Persian Gulf, halfway around the world, and then they sent me the same direction back to San Diego. So literally by 19 years old, I literally went around the world.
No shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. Went to school at Balboa, became a corpsman, went to Millington, Tennessee Naval Hospital, the big Airedale base for all the kids to go to school there, and a huge retirement community. I worked in medical records as a quad zero, blah, blah, corpsman. And then my girlfriend from high school and my son, we got back together. I married her. I re-enlisted, and I made E4 first time up. And then we went to Keflavik, Iceland Naval Hospital. So that was it was arduous duty, they called it. It was crazy.
So you stayed pretty much on the blue side in terms of being a corpsman, never went green side? Yeah.
No, I tried in the future of my career, and it wasn't going to happen. So, so I did, and that was where I became a real corpsman. I was on cast duty 24/7 for 3 years. So anybody broke anything, I had to cast them.
Cast them up, yeah.
I was E4,
so whatever.
Yeah, I was E4, so they made me the leading petty officer of the 15-bed unit. We saw anything from burns to babies.
Wow.
And so I was in charge of the 4 or 5 corpsmen there, and the schedules and the supplies and all that. And then I made E5 first time up. So they made me the leading petty officer of the emergency room. And that gave me a whole bunch of experience. So I really grew as a corpsman, and my knowledge and my technical skills in Iceland. So the next best thing besides one of the greatest things you can be as a corpsman is an independent duty corpsman. So when I first got to Iceland, these guys came out from Washington because apparently if you're in arduous duty, they give you first choice when you go your next duty station. They try. So I wanted to be an independent duty corpsman, and that's a really tough school. You got to be an E5. I was only an E4 still when these guys came out. And they said, you can't go to school, you're E4. I said, I'll worry about E5. You get me to school. So 3 years later, I'm getting ready to leave there, and I decided I wanted to be an instructor. So I put a package in to be a corpsman instructor. Great duty, great for making chief, E7, you know. I was a lifer dog. I loved the Navy. I was going to be in forever. And so I put in to be a instructor. All my orders for independent duty corpsman school were approved. They sent them to me, and then I got orders for teaching. They approved me. So I'm sitting here with the 2 greatest orders a corpsman could ever get, besides field med school with the Marines, right? So I talked to my master chief, and I said, "What do I do?" He said, if you've been approved for independent duty, you can always get independent duty, but you're only going to get approved once to go teach. So I left Iceland in 90. I taught for 3 years at Great Lakes Naval School of Health Sciences. It was during Desert Storm. I pushed 3 sets of classes of 80 through. They all went to field med school, all went to the front lines with our boys and girls, the Marines. Got a few letters back from them and stuff. Well, while I was teaching, after the 3 classes I did in the first year, Then they made me an academic counselor, helping kids learn better. And that's when I put in a request to go to field medical school and stop being an instructor duty. Master Chief's like, no, you're not going. So I put another chit, you're not going. I put in a third request to go to field med school. And at the time I was bartending after hours at the base bowling alley. And they sent the Master Chief sent our first class Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart Corpsman, in dress uniform to the bowling alley to sit down and talk to me while I bartended. And he said, I'll never forget this. Never volunteer for harm's way because it will find you.
Yeah.
And I quit submitting to go to field med school out with the Marines. So at the end of this tour, or as an instructor, we had our first baby girl. And the demands of and I got reapproved for independent duty corpsman school. I was on my way to Master Chief, guys. It was like I couldn't wait. Well, we had our first baby girl. Money was tight. There was a lot of stress in the house. And I just had to make a decision. Either go for it and don't be afraid to fail, or get out while you're on top. And I decided after 9.5 years to get out. And that was like, it's always been the biggest regret of my life.
Oh, really? Yeah. You wished you would have stayed.
Until I just talked to an independent duty corpsman sub veteran, a submariner, who lost his career because he became an independent duty corpsman and he didn't do very well and they booted him out.
Oh, gosh.
So here I am, 29 years old. I'm supposed to be responsible for 365 guys on a ship. A lot of responsibility for a young person.
Yeah, really.
So I kind of half chickened out, half used my daughter as the excuse. So never got to go greenside, but it was the proudest thing I've ever done in my life to be a Navy corpsman.
Absolutely.
I can't believe they let me be one,
Right.
And then
it's crazy how your journey ended, man. I mean,
it was abrupt.
Basically, once you seen what you saw with the first corpsman that you came across, and you're like, and like you said, man, that's not, his whole demeanor isn't necessarily with his feet up on the desk, coffee in his hand. You just happened to catch him at that time, and that was an inspiration kind of to you. And then you're like, and then you found out he had a lot of respect, and then you just really wish that for yourself, and you kept going. You know what I mean? You probably could have given up when they were like, well, you need to do A, B, and C. And then you could have said, well, maybe I don't like this route, right at that moment. But man, you just kept with it, So.
I just felt that they were somebody special. And I thought if I could aspire to that and keep plugging along, eventually they'll have to make me one.
And you know what, man? It is true. Corpsmen are very highly respected, and that's especially, us as Marines. A lot of those guys got to go through the same shit we do, but they're carrying a 9mm, and their 9mm is really not to fucking fight. It's to basically, it's the end all for them. Their main goal is just to protect and get these guys out. But they're not just great at healing, man. It's something about their mental and their way that they interact with us, and they keep us high spirited as well, right? It's not just a constant, hey, here's some Motrin and some sick shit or something. But we had some great comical moments with our docs. They kept us, I felt like, very grounded, and so there's just a large respect and appreciation for corpsmen. They go through a lot, and there's a lot of expectations from you guys, right? And you guys aren't necessarily PhD doctors, but
I had no medical experience at all before I went to, other than in sick bay. I couldn't do CPR or put my finger in someone's bullet hole, a chest wound or whatever. I never had anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just the way. What attracted me to it was you get to help people. Number one,
Right.
and two, you're so highly respected because corpsmen. I think most, sure we can be cocky when we're out with you guys. Corpsmen are the best ever, but I think there's a humblingness to it.
Right.
Because our oath that we take, my phone was starting to die.
You're fine.
The oath that we take, the Hospital Corpsman Pledge, the last part of it says, I will do all within my power to show in myself an example of all that is honorable and good throughout my naval career.
Mm.
To be a corpsman is a privilege. And taking care of your patient is a sacred trust.
Yeah.
And you're a Marine, and you know that.
Yep. We entrust our life in their hands.
Yeah. The best corpsman is a humble corpsman.
Yeah. And I think I've only met humble corpsmen. I don't think I've ever met one, otherwise. And then on both sides, green side, blue side, you guys just, there's, even after, you still have that thought of keeping and wanting to help and heal. And, it doesn't die out with you guys. You guys always still think about your comrades and your, everybody. I mean, it's crazy.
It's never left me. It's still right here.
Right. Hell yeah.
It's never left me. And it's trickled into with my civilian life. Once I got out of the Navy, I didn't know what to do because I just got out, man.
Yeah.
And I had a small.
And you did what? You did 10 years before you got out?
It was 9 years, 1 month, 1 week, and 1 day.
Damn, man. All right. Yeah. You got that
9-1-1-1.
Damn. Yeah. So yeah, when you got out, man, let's go ahead and go down that path.
I hopped on unemployment and I started a cleaning business because corpsmen are good at cleaning. And my mama taught me how to clean when I was a kid too, inspections and everything. So I had a carpet cleaning franchise for a little bit out there in Illinois, and that fell through, and came back to Michigan, and I became a Medicaid worker. So I spent 11 years helping people get the insurance that they needed to cover their medical bills, get the prescriptions, life-saving, cancer patients getting their chemo and things like that. So then I went from being a corpsman in medical to helping people live, and so that was very rewarding for me and helped me fill that void of not having the camaraderie, the respect, and the love for my Marines and for my sailors.
Right.
And so I did that for 11 years, and then very long story short. Ended up in the cannabis business, in the cannabis industry.
Nice.
And so that's where we're at today.
Yeah. And let's talk all about that, man. I think I'll start off right off rip. I think that a lot of people still out there are in the taboo world, right? That believe that, marijuana, cannabis is, there's been a lot of bad news on it. There's just, nothing ever really has been great. Now they're starting to find a lot of healing agencies and stuff like that. I myself have chosen to use marijuana as my way of medicating, and I don't have to use all these other pills that make you feel crazy or weird. And I don't do well with pills in general. It just kind of hurts my stomach and makes me feel sick. But yeah, man, let's talk about what got you into that and what you're doing with it and how you're educating and helping the general population.
Well, let me touch base on the pill thing and the pharmaceutical companies and the look that anything cannabis is taboo and bad, and that whole war against drugs and having cannabis as a what is it?
Scheduled 1 or whatever they call it.
Schedule 1. It's as bad as heroin.
Right.
Okay. So that was all created by politicians and the pharmaceutical companies. We can get into that all day long, but
sure.
The bottom line was the pharmaceutical companies didn't want cannabis to be legalized because they knew it would help people.
Sure.
The end.
Yeah. And you want to need pills, and because there's a lot of pills out there that would be pretty much eliminated if you knew how to use the proper THC or even CBD. There's just different elements that people just have no idea how much science is involved with it.
Yeah. If you want to educate yourself and not be ignorant on the topic,
right,
you'll find, and as a corpsman buddy, my eyes are always looking about that. I see it from a corpsman's perspective.
Right.
And I witnessed it with my own eyes, the help that it brings people. My own daughter has MS, and cannabis has helped her unbelievably.
Yeah.
So the naysayers can talk all they want, and they can call us whatever they want, and they can be as negative as they want. And I can't help, you can't.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes, man. You know what I mean? It's. I feel that when people really want to come at that still and call people or put it down, you're just not educated, right? Or you're talking about something that you don't really know about.
I would rather you educate yourself so we can have an educated discussion about it.
Yeah, 100%.
And if it's something that's not for you, it's not for you. That's fine. I love you for that. Okay, great.
Yes.
But don't, you if you're going to come at it with an uneducated, ignorant viewpoint without any education at all, I can't fight. I can't fight that.
Right.
You can't
it
fight
is hard.
No ammunition up here.
Yes, correct. 100%, man. I know exactly what you're talking about because it's a thing, and I think that it's starting to get more acceptable now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there that I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that would be doing edibles or something. They don't necessarily smoke it, but they use some form of it, right?
Yes.
You'll hear like, oh, well, I use a little bit to go to sleep at night. Oh shit, what?
What?
Like I didn't know that,
a brain surgeon,
a lot of people, bro, like they're coming out the woodworks now, now that it's starting to be the taboo is starting to disseminate because people are actually getting educated, and there's a lot of videos out there to educate you. That's why I'm saying if you're still ignorant to it, there's so much out there that could educate you, and you can find out whether what you're saying is factual or not. And I'll listen to facts all day long, but if you're going to dispute something and it sounds like complete hate, wait, try, that's when you're doing no one good service, right? There's a lot of people out there that benefit from this. Veterans, disabled children, with autism, with MS. Dude, I could list a long list of different ailments that just a little oil or a little little gummy or something could literally help that person get through with the things they struggle on a daily.
I've seen thousands of examples in the last 5 years alone.
Right.
So be as it may. So what happened was when Iraq and Afghanistan, that 25-year thing happened, being a veteran sitting back at home, knowing what my fellow brothers and sisters were going through, having a busy life as a civilian, trying to make enough money to live. I always wanted to do, I knew that they were going to need help. I knew it. I mean, look at from World War I to now, Vietnam vets, Korean vets, the government has no problem sending you and messing you up. It has all kinds of problems helping you in your home.
Man.
Okay.
You couldn't say it much better than the way you just stated it, brother.
And when it comes to veterans, I have this phrase. I saw it somewhere, and it's not mine, but so I can't claim it. But when it comes to veterans and receiving help, if not us, who? And if not now, when?
When? Yeah, that's.
If we can't take care of each other, they're not going to do it.
Right.
It's obvious. When you got to fight so hard to get your disability from VA and they make you run through hoops and they're the ones that messed you up.
And they'll deny you
Yeah.
1 or 2 times before all of a sudden they'll go ahead and accept you. You know what I mean? It's like, you ran me through the ringer several times. You know what I mean? Just to tell me no. And I feel like they do that to a lot of these guys because they know how we work, right? We don't like rejection much. We don't like paperwork at all. We don't like doctor visits. We don't like all those things. So what do? Throw the doctor visits at you, throw all the things that we hate, put you on hold 1,000 times, make you fill out paperwork, then deny you, and then you got to go refill out fucking paperwork. The red tape procedures is absolutely crazy to me. And it's no wonder why dudes are, taking life into their own hands, so to speak.
And in the meantime, they just fill your cigar box full of pills.
Right. Yep.
And they keep you in a
not
stupor
fixing
of meds.
Nothing. Not fixing nothing.
No. The
giving you a whole bunch of
companies
Band-Aids.
have never fixed anything.
No. And then not to mention, bro, they're destroying some other organ in your body, because now they're putting extra shit on your liver, extra shit on your kidneys, your heart, all these things that your body's we're not supposed to have all these foreign objects in our body, bro. Like we were made a certain way and we keep inducing all these extra stuff. It's crazy. I've heard of guys up to about 16 different pills.
Oh, more. I've heard more. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
I mean,
and then they give you pills to help the negative effects of the other pills.
Yeah.
Cannabis
man.
is the only medicine you take for the side effects.
Sure. Right.
It's like the opposite of pharmaceuticals. So what I did was, I said it the whole time during the Afghan and Iraq war, that I needed to do something to help my fellow veterans. And I need to help my vets. I need to help the vets. I got to help my brothers and sisters. I know they're coming home messed up, and I know that I can give. I wasn't there. I was never in combat, but I can love them. I can listen to them. I can steer them in the right direction with the VA and stuff. I knew a little bit about it. So I joined, finally, after all those years, I joined the VFW here local.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm finally going to help my vets. I get in there, it's a bunch of Vietnam guys drinking beers, crying.
Yeah.
It's not, there was no Afghan Iraq veterans there. And I'm like,
No.
well, where are they? They go,
I know.
It's a different generation, Rod. They don't, or Doc, they don't come here. I go, well, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they come hang out with their fellow veterans? They're a different generation. They don't want to sit here listening to Hank Williams Jr. drinking beers all day. And if you go to VFWs, man, I've been in a lot of them in my lifetime. I even worked at one for a while. That's kind of how it is.
They're very dark. Dark lit. Yeah, it does feel like you're going into a dark tavern. You know what I mean?
They're trying to do good work,
Yeah.
The people who run them.
Absolutely. Right.
And lots of it is the family of vets who've passed and stuff. They get their auxiliary members. They mean well, but the new generation of veteran wants nothing to do with that. They want help with groceries, daycare, education. They want to make something of themselves. It seems in a different path than the old veterans did.
That's why I think you're seeing a lot more nonprofits driven by veterans now, right? Like, instead of a lot of people doing VFWs or, the Moose Lodge, all the different things they have going on, I think a lot of people do these nonprofits, right? They start up the nonprofits and it's another great avenue or another great way of helping each other out. And sometimes it specializes in certain things that it's pretty much for that group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I've been seeing a lot more of. I feel like now versus people going into a place where, and that's the other thing, bro. A lot of these guys are trying to stay away from being alcoholics, and so when you go into a place where there's a bar and everybody in there else is drinking and smoking, well, fucking, what do you think you were going to want to do? I
Tell
mean,
us some stories,
like, give me some fucking beer too, brother. So that's the other thing, I think that sometimes when you keep creating that kind of atmosphere, there's some people that are scared to go there because they don't want to, they're trying to get away from the demons, or they don't, and they don't realize that sometimes it's therapeutic as well, just to be around people that experience what you've experienced. And then you can hear the shit they're going through, and then you're like, oh man, I'm kind of going through the same shit, you know? So there's always, I guess, there's pros and cons, but I guess
I know they mean well, but it's
right.
just not
Absolutely.
what the new veteran is looking for.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that kind of fell through. But at the same time, at that point, I got a job working at a grow, and I learned how to grow cannabis there.
Yeah.
So then Michigan became legal recreationally, so I transferred half of my house into a grow at home. My wife is disabled. She has a host of medical problems. And so I was going to grow. I don't mind partaking a few puffs at night before I go to bed.
Sure.
I don't sit around all day long smoking doob after doob. I'm not that way. But I do enjoy to relax at night. Better than drinking tons of beers or being drunk all the time. So
yeah, bro, and you definitely don't have a hangover afterwards.
It's good for I feel better. It makes my joints feel better. I like sativas because it's an uplifting buzz where I can get my honeydew list done. And it makes me creative. It makes me focus. I have attention deficit real bad, and sativas really help my attention deficit. I get more done. I'm more active when I smoke a sativa. So I was growing for my wife, growing at the grow, and I ran across a farmer who created his own fertilizer for his own grow only. He's been farming, him and his family, for 100 years in Marion, Ohio. And it just so happens it got out a little bit and I got my hands on it. And the cleanest, purest, smashed up rocks and hormones and silicates and humates. And the very first day I tried this fertilizer for my cannabis plants, the very next day when I opened the door, my eyes, I couldn't believe what I seen. And because I'm a corpsman, and I won't allow bad in me. I certainly wouldn't allow bad into anybody else.
Right.
So our fertilizer is the most refined, all natural, and pure ingredients that you can get other than organic. Our hormones are organic, but not every product not every ingredient is organic in our product. But the difference is like this: nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate right here. Peppercorn. This is NPK.
Wow.
Any grower is going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
NPK. NPK.
Wow.
This is what we make food with.
Yep.
This is what our people smoke with. Pure. So every ingredient is like that. So they categorize us as a synthetic salt-based product. But there's this much sodium in ours. Micro. So because we're not completely organic, I can't fall in the organic world. And we're not really a synthetic salt, but we fall into there by law or whatever. So what happened was I used it in my grow, and I thought, holy cow, I could help a bunch of people make good, clean medicine. If they can do this for me, they can do it for lots of people. So I got with the farmer in Ohio, and I said, look, let me run this. Let me run this through the stores. Let me try to get this out there to people. I think it could help every person that gets a hold of it. They'll make better medicine, more yield, most tweakable, most versatile, in any medium, in any grow situation, whatever your methodology is, hydro, cocoa, soils. It's the most versatile, most wonderful thing I've ever seen in the fertilizer industry. And so I went to 100 stores, Brian, the first year.
Damn.
Out of 120 in Michigan, I went to 100.
Shit.
And no one knew we gave it a name and no one knew, nobody.
Right.
So here I am knocking on doors. Just try it, giving it away. $40,000 worth of it.
Damn.
Gave it away. And no traction. I had 9 stores under consignment. When it's under consignment, the owner has no skin in the game. The employees are all tapped in with the other fertilizer companies wearing their ball caps and their shirts, getting kickbacks from the companies. So it just sat on the shelf, wouldn't move. And then I said, you know what? Instead of working from the stores down, let's start with humans. And let's get it to just the people. And the best way to do that is through Facebook. So I went to looking at cannabis-related Facebook groups, and lo and behold, we got a hold of a few of them, and I gave it away to their groups. Some members did grow-offs and grow challenges and growing shows, and over the past year and a half, it has been just unbelievable, the response and the love that's been poured back towards us, helping people grow better medicine. And that's what it's really all about. And so it connected with vets. So I got with some veteran groups, veterans only groups.
Right.
And lots of them either want to or do grow cannabis for their medical issues. And so I started donating nutrients to the veteran groups. Found my way to get to the Afghan Iraq people and help them like I promised myself I would do.
Damn, nice, man.
And so here I go, VFW didn't work. All right, we'll try this then. And it's just been resounding response. I've got people, I'm not trying to be a braggart, but I've got people hitting me up every day right now going, I have triple the yield.
Wow.
I have doubled my quality. It's so easy to use. My feed times are almost nothing. It's just been crazy. And that's kind of how all this has led up to speaking with you today.
So yeah, man, let's talk about how people can find it too, man. So what's the best way? And yeah,
they can go to our website. Lots of great product description there. If you know a little bit about growing, it's very easy to read and very understandable what's in every product and what it does for your plants specifically. You can get a hold of me personally, R. Lewis Walbecq on Facebook and Messenger. You can join a couple of the Facebook groups that are very into my product. There's one called Grow Big Buds 101. Grow Big Buds 101. They can also go to my Facebook group, which is Utopic Essential Nutrient Growers. Okay. And in there, you'll see testimonials and pictures galore. And
that's
so
great, bro. Word of mouth
veteran,
is the best way.
As a fellow veteran helping our veterans, we're on the precipice of something absolutely huge. Like, we've beat every nutrient line you can name with regular growers, regular everyday people like us.
That's beautiful.
2 plants, 100 plants, don't matter.
Yeah.
It helps every single grower out there. And to be able to help my fellow veterans this way, and we give great discounts to the vets. Like, I hate to even charge them a little bit extra so I have a little bit of profit. But we're a business, so we got to kind of do it a little.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise you won't survive.
Well, I can see how excited you are about it, brother. So, I know it's helping you as well. You know what I mean? I can see how you light up when we started talking about this.
When I got with the first veteran group, which is Veterans Canna Community. Veterans Canna Community. TJ Durkin. When I got with him, we were talking, and I had a few beers that night, so I was a little emotional. And I said,
TJ's a great guy.
I finally get to be a corpsman again.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is, man. And see, I don't think
very
it's
cool.
I don't think it's just a drinking, bro. That literally makes you feel a certain way, you know. And the great thing about this is you're helping others, but this is helping you too, right? Like it's twofold, man. And you're getting to serve a purpose that you just always had that niche for, man. And I love to see our veterans doing great and amazing things, and to see the excitement of what you got going on, and to see what it actually is doing for you. You know, that part gives me a lot of thrills, man. Is seeing how good, you know. I love to see you guys do great, bro. And
there is a little bit of self-greediness in it.
Yeah.
You know, because the joy that I get from helping them when they hit me up, they call me or they messenger video, whatever, to see the smiles on their face. And I didn't believe you, man. I didn't believe you. Thank you so much for making me do this, you know, and just to see the joy in their face gives me much self-gratitude, you know.
So your fertilizer, is it just something you mix inside the soil? How do you guys actually apply the? Yeah, just it's a mix.
There's 5 parts to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're the farmer made them to work in unison together. You don't have to add anything else, but you can, but you don't have to add anything else to our product.
Wow.
It's 5 parts. A simple feed chart: 3, 5, 10. Anybody that grows knows 3 mils, 5 mils, 10 mils.
Sure. Yep.
Down the road as the plant cycle of life goes. So we just change how much. We don't change what we use.
So you guys got it really dialed in now. I mean, they have it down into a science. Yep.
Yep. You don't need a lot because it's pure, good, whole foods level. They call it pharmaceutical grade or greenhouse grade. You can't spend more money than we do on the refinement. And we have a secret weapon in our elixir of life. We have a hippie theme to our product in respect to all the 60s and 70s people who pushed for cannabis reform way back in the day. So we decided to honor them with our artwork and our logos. And so we have Micro Magic with a VW bus. We've got a solar sulfur that has the hippie sun. Yes. We've got Far Out Phosphate.
Nice.
The P side. And then we have Elixir of Life. And that is our secret weapon. That has organic. We get our hormones, plant hormones, from kelp that's grown organically. And we pay the extra money for the pure liquid extraction of those hormones. Yeah. I guess there's different levels of extraction or different ways to extract hormones from kelp. And so there's the most expensive one is the pure liquid extract. So, and then we added the humates and the silicates, which is build strong cellular walls.
Yeah.
Good growth.
That helps the roots and stuff. The silica is really good for the roots.
There's 5 hormones the 5 main hormones that do the most. It's for roots, stalk, branches, leaves, nodes.
So your fertilizer, it sounds like it helps if you experience probably harsh conditions at times. Like I know sometimes, like I'll tell you, like I've experienced this past grow season for myself is temperature. That is the major temperature drops, bro. I've had to throw in a damn heater in my tent, and I got everything I got is pretty much automatic, but silica is a good saver of helping your roots through drought. If you forget to actually water your shit, overwater it, it just helps a lot of going through the harsher things that happen, which can flip your freaking plants into hermaphrodites and you can end up with seeds all in your stuff.
Yeah. And it's
I
not
know
the
about
kind of
that
seed that
life.
you really want because it wasn't
No,
done through process of becoming a genetics guy.
correct. Now you're
Yeah.
messing. Yeah, you just messed up things.
We call those bag seeds.
Yeah, there's those kind of seeds. You never know what you're gonna get. You can get a great plant, or you can get seeds all over again,
Yeah.
right
The
off
thing,
rip.
yeah, the thing with the farmer that created this, again, only for his own, they just finished up on 100,000 square feet greenhouse with a processing lab, a processing center, and a lab for gene study. Like a chemist, they're doing that to feed 3 dispensaries in the future, to where the strains that are grown will be specific to specific medical problems.
Hmm, that's outstanding.
Yeah. So you come in a dispensary, hey, I've got depression, anxiety, this, that. Well, let me lead you to what we've found works really well for that.
Man, that's outstanding. See,
That's
and
Corman
that's
stuff.
yeah, that's the part that I think of people lose focus on. Oh, you just want to go get high, and no, man. There's a whole other side that people don't realize that people benefit from. You know, I see a lot of people that are alcoholics or whatever doing crazier, making horrible, way worse decision than a dude that goes and smokes a bowl,
Yeah.
or goes and hits a couple bong rips, or even takes a joint or a blunt, whatever. The difference in how they are and the things that happened during that time, I don't think there's any comparison,
Well,
right?
cannabis is a gateway drug
Yeah, that's what they say,
straight to
right?
your refrigerator.
Yeah. Man, that's yeah, that I know, like my mother, she grew up in the era of, how it was horrible. It was the war on drugs. And and
So
and marijuana was one of their biggest targets, because it was, you know, people could just throw it in the soil and pop it out. Back then we were not dealing with the greatest of qualities, because now everybody's gotten this shit down to a science. I mean, it is amazing. I never knew, right? Like, before I was just a user, right? In back in the day, yeah, I was a partier and I did like to just do it and stuff. But later on, figured it calmed me down. It gave me that even keel, because I could be really high strung. I could be like, fuck yeah, you know. So this thing kind of helps me be even keel. I know my wife appreciates it. But once I started decided to grow, and I was like, let me just dip in the grow world. I didn't realize, bro, there's so much science to it, right? Like, you can't have any, little lights in your grow room during the 12-hour no light cycles, and, all the different cycles that it goes through. And even, that's just 50% of it is actually the grow part. Then you got the cure part. There's a whole way you cure, right? And I mean, some people can just put it in a can, let it dry out, or you actually do it the right way. You put it in the cans, you burp them, and it takes a good couple of months before you actually could really smoke your good, decent weed.
well,
You know,
it depends on what strength of medicine you're looking for.
right? That too. Yep. And
If
that's
you
the other part you don't know. It is until you start getting into it, is knowing when to actually cut your tree down. You start looking at, how much, what's it called, the little
DH,
cannabinoids or whatever.
yeah, cannabinoids,
Yeah,
yes, and terpenes.
you could start seeing him in a microscope. Now, if it's clear, it's not ready. Once they all are 100% cloudy, that's probably when you get the most couch lock high. And then if you get into when it starts getting amber looking and stuff, that's when I guess all that stuff has a matter, and depending on the strength of the high. I think I went backwards. I think
Yeah,
the
it's
cloudy is
okay.
for more on the upper side, and then if you go more on the amber side, that's more of the couch lock side.
Yeah. So what the farmer wanted to do for his own grow, and it subsequently now we all get the benefit from it, is
Right.
that he believes in a holistic approach to the growing.
Sure.
growing cannabis isn't about doing a million things perfect.
Sure. Right.
It's about doing a number of things pretty good. And so taking a holistic approach to growing your cannabis, meaning if you can feed them the best nutrition, cleanest, purest nutrition possible, and you start them like that in the beginning as babes, and you build, plants have their own immune system to fight off bugs, to fight off the weather, to fight off things. It's a weed.
Right.
Been here since Jesus and stuff, you know. So if you take the holistic approach to it and get your plant started off right and strongly healthy up front, and this will keep it healthy throughout the growth stages, out the flower and out the other end. Stress on a plant decreases your yield, decreases your terpenes, decreases your cannabinoids, and makes this and less trichome production. It makes for a lesser grade medicine.
Yep.
So if you're able to keep your plants consistently healthy from start to finish, will bring you more yield, better quality medicine, less money wasted out down the toilet, you know, and so that keeping it healthy all the way through. That's why the ingredients that we have are the ingredients that we have for that holistic, long-term, strong, vibrant, robust health from start to finish with no stress. Now we can't
because I'll be honest with you, the part about stress and that he's when he's talking about stress, there's that impacts one, it could impact your yield. Two, it could actually turn your female plant into what they call a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
And when your thing turns into a hermaphrodite, it now is male and female. So now at this point in time, your buds are going to have seeds inside of it. That's why you get these seedy weeds and stuff. That's temperature plays into stress, conditions, is the tent, the lights, all those kind of things all really play a big part. But number one is your foundation, where your seed gets planted, where the food and all that takes place. So I could see why and how that would be such a great product. I mean, it, like you said, bro, you don't got to use a lot. And I think that's where a lot of the growers start to go wrong, right? They start like, oh, I got to just add all this nutrients. I got to feed. And then they go so hard on it, not realizing they're stunning the yield. They're stunning the growth of their plant. They're actually hurting it, not helping it, because sometimes less is more when it comes to the plant, right?
Yes. I lost my train of thought. I was going to tell you something. I think that people shouldn't take my word for it, even though I think I have a slight bit of credibility being a corpsman. Look, these growers have been growing forever. Lots of growers have been growing for a long time.
Sure.
The first 10 years, they fumble and stumble like all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're in their second 10 years. And then a punk like me comes along. You got to try our stuff. It's the best. They've heard that a million times.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't blame them for not wanting to make a change. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But if you're not happy with your yield, you're not happy with the quality of your medicine, you're tired of taking hours to get your brew ready to feed. You know, if you're tired of feed charts and you need to be a mathematician, you know, an Einstein to get through your feed chart.
Yeah.
I can't, we couldn't have made our feed chart any simpler. I urge my fellow veterans, I urge the civilian community, go do your research. We've done all the work for you. Go look. It's not like we hit all the bad reviews. You know, go to utopicessentialnutrients.com. Come check us out on Facebook. Look at the pictures. Talk to the people that are using it. Just hit them up. Hey, and just you owe it to yourself just to take a look.
Absolutely. You know, I am. 100%, bro. I I love to grow. I don't necessarily have to any as much really here in California with the prices and stuff. I mean, it's really cheap anymore because there's the competition is real. Like you can go on weed maps and pull it up and you can't even see the regular map. Um, but you know, I love growing and I love to learn and I love finding good products out there. I've tried all different ways, man. I've tried even different mediums. I've tried hydro. I've cloned. I've done a lot of different trying. And when you can find something that kind of contains everything and you don't got to do a lot of extra work on it, because you start to have like 4 or 5 plants, it could be a lot of work, man, especially if you're going through and feeding it all the time. These things gotta be watered about every 2 to 3 days or so. You gotta really stay on top of them,
Yeah. It's a passion.
and
It's a love thing. You got to really have a
absolutely, you
passion
gotta
for it.
love it, and so that's why for me, I enjoy doing it as a hobby, right? So,
Mhm.
I used to have, I think, about 4 tents, and I had all the different iterations of life. One was for flowering, one was for vegging, and then I had a clone room. I was really going hardcore with it, and then I was just like, "Damn, dude, the prices are just too easy. I don't, I'm spending so much time doing this." So I scaled back and I just, one plant, I mean, not one plant, one tent with like about three plants in there, way more manageable, but it would be even nicer if you don't really have to go out there all the time. And you had a nice I would love to have a nice, like, fertilizer type thing so I don't gotta go out there, like I said, and do all this extra nutrients, and what if one day you forget or there's just all these things. I love when it's already pretty much made for you and ready to go. I know there's a lot of people that take pride in building up their own soil and doing all that stuff, and hey, that's outstanding, but there's also those, like, the people that wanna cut to the chase, right? Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
we've got organic growers that use all the blood worms and all that stuff and
yeah,
eggshell. Use my product in half dose as a supplement to what they're doing because it works
and
so
then
well together.
even better, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like you can be organic. You can be a salt synthetic guy. You can create your own compost. No matter what you're doing, no matter if it's hydro, octopods, cocoa, perlite, it doesn't matter. It works with everything.
And it
And
sounds like, honestly, bro, like, it sounds like the stuff sells its stuff. It sells itself at this point in time. Like you said, don't take his word for it. Go look up his website, go look up his Facebook, go check all those things out and see for yourself.
my opinion, our fellow veteran brothers and sisters deserve the best. And I hope they'll take a look. And we do great discounts for our people. So all nothing but love here to
Yeah,
come
bro.
to you
And
guys.
and you can tell and you can see it. I can feel it.
I
And
appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk. You don't get a lot of time to
absolutely.
talk about your old veteran or your old active duty days.
No, man, that's something I like about my podcast, and I try to tell guys, don't gloss over your military career. A lot of us like to do that, but um, there's a lot of people out there that like to hear about it, that are always curious. I wish I would have joined. I wish I would have gone this branch. What is that job like? So getting different perspectives, getting, to hear from all our different veterans, not only just, bro, like your service, but like what you're doing afterwards, right? And you're still carrying on and you're still fucking doing your service to your brothers and your sisters. So we got to highlight those kind of things, man.
Just a different
And we got
path.
to
That's all.
capture all of these things, right? And
Yeah.
these kind of things helps other people go do good, better things for our people and for our brothers and sisters. And like you said, dude, we can't sit here and rely on our VA system to do stuff. They're under, some people say they're under manned, and um, there's a lot of wait lists and a lot of denying, da, da, da. But we got to step it up as a community, right?
Mhm.
And do what we can to help our brothers and sisters on our own, and just keep on fighting that way.
Yeah.
And people like you, bro, is why we keep going, man. And you're doing great things, brother. And And any day you have any kind of self-doubt, don't doubt yourself, because I promise you, you're making an impact, and you're still out there doing what you want to do, and it's doing great for you too.
Yeah. So just two last things.
Yep.
You'll invite the doc on the battlefield with you. You'll invite Doc in your sick bay on a ship with you. You'll let Doc go to the bar with you. Now it's time to let Doc into your grow with you.
Hell
And
yeah.
let's help you make better medicine, man.
Absolutely.
And again, if not us, who? And if not now, when? It's time to help each other, because no one else is going to do it for us.
Absolutely.
God bless you, Brian. Thanks, man.
Hey, Rod, I appreciate you, Doc. You, like I said, man, keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you're more than welcome to share on my page. Every day is a Saturday, USMC veteran. That is open. That group, it's a closed group, so you're more than welcome to post all your stuff, dude. Like, it is there for our veterans. I want any resource that is out there to be posted there. So you're just another resource.
Do you need me to send like 20 copies of my DD-214 to prove I was a veteran?
No, man, not at all.
It's
I
right here.
all my group is about is anybody and everybody just putting out what you're doing and helping, so that way people can see it. And if there's someone that can utilize what you got going on, boom. Also, I'll probably add you on to, I do have my website now, EDASUSMCvet.com. I've been putting nonprofits on there and just different things on there for people that if they are interested in them, they just press it and it takes them right to your website, so.
I'll take any help I can get, because when you're fighting these big corporations like Athena and all these big advanced guys and all
The guys that got the money, big time money. Yeah.
We had one of the representatives from one of those companies. I got it through the grapevine secondhand. We need to squash that thing in Michigan. Bring it on.
You see that?
As a United States Navy corpsman you're talking to. You have no idea what we're capable of.
Yeah. All right, Doc. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you. Just hold tight, and I'll be back there in a quick second. Once again, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story, your experience, and what you got going on, brother.
Fellow veterans, never give up, man. Not once, not ever. Don't give up.
Yeah. Take care, brother.
God bless.
All right, friends and fam. Well, that's going to go ahead and knock out another great interview. Doc is a great guy. As you can see, he's very passionate about what he's got going on. If you guys can go check out his website, it's utopicessentialnutrients.com. That's utopicessentialnutrients.com. And hey, hope you guys are having an amazing day out there. You know how I say it. Don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking its ass. Until next time, we'll see you guys.